chosen ones, there are moments in life when the betrayal cuts deeper than anything you have ever experienced. Not because it came from strangers, but because it came from people you trusted, people you helped, people you once believed would never turn against you. They smiled in your face. They stood beside you when it was convenient, but the moment things became difficult, they changed. They spoke against you, they doubted you, and some even tried to tear down the very person they once benefited from. In those moments, it may have felt like you were alone, like the truth was buried and injustice had the final word. But chosen ones, there is something powerful you must remember. Allah saw everything. He saw every act of loyalty you gave. He saw every lie that was spoken about you. He saw the patience you showed when your heart wanted to defend itself. And while those who betrayed you may have believed they escaped the consequences of their actions, time is beginning to reveal a different reality. The same people who once turned their backs are now realizing the value of what they lost. Regret is slowly finding its way into their hearts, because when someone wrongs a servant who remained patient for the sake of Allah, the story does not end with betrayal. In this video, we will uncover 7 powerful lessons about why those who betrayed the chosen ones eventually regret it, and how Allah's justice unfolds in ways no one can escape. Stay until the end, because one of these lessons may completely change the way you understand the betrayal you once experienced. Chosen ones, one of the most painful parts of betrayal is the feeling that what happened to you was unseen, unheard, and unacknowledged by the world around you. When someone you trusted lies about you, turns others against you, or abandons you in your most vulnerable moment, it can feel as if justice has disappeared and the truth has been buried beneath their words. You may have watched people believe their version of the story while your silence was mistaken for weakness, and in those moments, your heart may have asked a painful question: did anyone see what really happened? But this is where faith brings a powerful reminder that changes everything. Nothing escapes the sight of Allah. Every word that was spoken against you, every rumor that was spread, every moment you were treated unfairly while trying to remain patient, was witnessed by the one who sees what no human eye can see. Islam teaches us that every action, no matter how small, is being recorded with perfect accuracy. Not a single injustice disappears into the darkness of time, and not a single tear falls without Allah knowing the pain behind it. When people betray you, they often believe that if others support them, or if enough time passes, their actions will simply fade away and be forgotten. But the divine record does not forget. Allah saw the loyalty you gave when you had nothing to gain. He saw the patience you practiced when your heart was breaking. He saw the dignity you maintained when others tried to provoke you into anger or retaliation. This is why the chosen ones are often asked to endure situations that seem unfair on the surface, because Allah is not only witnessing the injustice, He is also recording your patience, your character, and your faith in moments when it would have been easier to respond with bitterness. The world may move on quickly from betrayal, but the divine scale of justice never loses balance. One day, every word will be weighed, every intention will be revealed, and every person will face the truth of what they did to others. Those who betrayed you may appear comfortable now, laughing and living as if nothing happened, but what they do not understand is that their actions have already been written in a record they cannot erase. And when Allah is the witness to your suffering and your patience, the story is never finished with injustice, because the one who recorded everything is also the one who controls the final outcome. Chosen ones, One of the deepest wisdoms behind betrayal is that it reveals the true nature of the hearts around you. In ordinary times, when life is smooth and everything is going well, it is very difficult to distinguish between those who truly care about you and those who are only close to you because it benefits them. Many people can smile when things are easy. Many people can pretend loyalty when they are gaining something from your presence. And many people can act supportive when there is no cost attached to that support. But the moment hardship enters your life, the moment your situation becomes uncomfortable, or the moment standing beside you requires courage and sincerity, the masks begin to fall. This is when betrayal often appears, and although it hurts deeply, it also reveals a truth that Allah wanted you to see. Through betrayal, Allah exposes intentions that were hidden beneath polite words and friendly behavior. People who once praised you may suddenly criticize you. Those who once stood beside you may quietly distance themselves, and some may even become the very source of the pain you never expected from them. At first, this realization can feel heartbreaking because it forces you to accept that some relationships were never as genuine as you believed. But chosen ones, this painful unveiling is actually a form of divine protection. Imagine continuing through life surrounded by people who secretly envy you, resent your growth, or wait for the right moment to turn against you. Without trials, their true intentions might remain hidden for years. Allah, in His wisdom, sometimes allows betrayal to occur so that the truth can surface and your path can be cleared of those who were never meant to accompany you in the next stage of your life. The betrayal did not change who you are. It revealed who they were. Your loyalty remained the same, your sincerity remained the same, and your intentions remained pure, while their hearts were exposed when circumstances changed. Over time, this clarity becomes one of the greatest blessings you receive from the experience. Instead of walking forward with illusions about people, you begin to see relationships through the lens of wisdom and faith. You learn that not everyone who stands near you truly stands with you, and not every smile hides sincerity. And when Allah removes certain individuals from your life through betrayal, it is often because they were never meant to be part of the destiny He is preparing for you. What felt like loss in the beginning eventually becomes understanding, because betrayal did not destroy your life. It revealed the truth that Allah wanted you to see. Chosen ones, when betrayal happens, one of the most difficult battles is the battle inside your own heart, the urge to defend yourself, to expose the lies, and to prove to everyone that what was said about you is not true. When people speak against you or twist your story, it is natural to want to respond immediately and fight back with the same intensity. Yet many chosen ones take a different path, a path that most people misunderstand, the path of silence. To the outside world, your silence may have looked like weakness, as if you had nothing to say or no courage to defend yourself. Some may have even assumed that the accusations must be true because you refused to argue or chase every rumor. But what they failed to understand is that your silence was not surrender, it was strength guided by faith. You chose not to lower your character to the level of those who betrayed you. You chose dignity over chaos, patience over revenge, and trust in Allah over the need to win every argument. In Islam, silence in the face of provocation can be one of the strongest forms of self-control because it requires a heart that believes Allah will reveal the truth at the right time. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced countless accusations, insults, and betrayals throughout his mission, yet he often responded with patience and composure, instead of constant retaliation. This teaches us that not every attack deserves your voice, and not every lie deserves your energy. Sometimes the most powerful response is to continue living with integrity while allowing time and truth to expose what words cannot fix. Your silence forced people to observe your character rather than your arguments. While others were busy spreading negativity, you were busy protecting your peace, focusing on your faith, and allowing Allah to handle what you could not control. And over time, something remarkable begins to happen. Those who once believed the lies start noticing the difference between your calm strength and the chaos created by those who betrayed you. They see consistency in your behavior, while the stories against you begin to collapse under their own weight. This is why many betrayers eventually feel regret, because they expected you to react with anger, to fight endlessly, or to break under the pressure. Instead, they saw patience, restraint, and a quiet confidence that could only come from someone who trusted Allah completely. Your silence became a mirror, reflecting their actions back to them, and in that reflection they began to see the truth they tried to hide. So never mistake your silence as weakness. It was the discipline of a heart that refused to let betrayal turn it into something bitter. It was the strength of someone who understood that the loudest voice in any situation is not always the one speaking. Sometimes it is the quiet dignity of a person who knows that Allah is the ultimate defender of the truth. Chosen ones, one of the greatest secrets of faith is that patience is never wasted in the sight of Allah. When betrayal enters your life, the pain can feel overwhelming because it often comes from people you never expected to hurt you. Your heart may struggle with questions, wondering why Allah allowed such injustice to happen when your intentions were sincere and your loyalty was genuine. But within Islamic teachings, there is a powerful truth that many people only understand after they pass through hardship. Allah elevates those who remain patient during their trials. Patience in Islam is not simply staying quiet or suppressing pain. It is the strength to continue trusting Allah even when the situation feels unfair and confusing. It is the ability to protect your character when others are losing theirs, to hold on to faith when your emotions want to react with anger, and to move forward with dignity even when people expect you to break. The Quran repeatedly reminds believers that Allah is with the patient, and this companionship is not a small promise. When Allah is with someone, it means guidance, protection, wisdom, and eventual victory in ways that the human mind cannot always predict. Many chosen ones experience seasons where they feel abandoned by people, misunderstood by their surroundings, and tested beyond what they imagined they could handle. Yet those same seasons are often the moments when Allah is shaping their character and preparing them for something greater than what they lost. Hardship refines the soul the same way fire refines gold. The process may be intense, but what emerges afterward is stronger and more valuable. The people who betrayed you may have expected their actions to weaken you, to break your confidence, or to push you into bitterness. Instead, your patience turned the situation into a source of spiritual elevation. Every time you resisted the urge to respond with hatred, every time you chose prayer instead of revenge, and every time you placed your trust in Allah instead of chasing validation from people, you were building a level of inner strength that betrayal cannot destroy. Over time, this patience begins to change your life in ways you never expected. Doors begin to open where you once saw walls. Opportunities appear that would never have existed if you had remained in the same environment with the same people. Your heart becomes calmer because it no longer depends on human approval, and your connection with Allah becomes deeper because you experienced His support during your most difficult moments. This is the hidden wisdom behind patience. While others were focused on harming you, Allah was quietly elevating you. While they were spreading negativity, Allah was strengthening your spirit. And while they thought they had taken something away from you, Allah was preparing blessings that could never have reached you without that trial. Eventually, people begin to notice the transformation. They see that the person they once underestimated has become wiser, more peaceful, and more resilient than before. That is when regret begins to grow in the hearts of those who once betrayed you, because they realize that their actions did not destroy you the way they expected. Instead, their betrayal became part of the process through which Allah raised you higher than where you stood before. Patience may feel heavy in the moment, but in the sight of Allah, it is one of the most powerful acts a believer can perform, and every moment you endured with faith is part of the elevation that no human betrayal can take away. Chosen ones, one of the most powerful forces that Allah uses to demonstrate justice is time itself, and understanding this truth is essential for anyone who has been betrayed, wronged, or deceived. Betrayal often comes like a storm in the middle of your life, sudden, painful, and confusing. The people you trusted may speak lies, spread rumors, or abandon you when you needed them the most, and in that moment, it can feel as though the world has turned against you. You may see them smiling, appearing unbothered, and even gaining what they think they took from you. Your heart may ache as you wrestle with feelings of anger, hurt, and disbelief. You may ask, why does it seem like they are winning? Why does no one see the truth? Chosen ones, this is where the wisdom of patience and faith must guide you, because Allah has created time as a vessel through which reality unfolds, and He is the ultimate orchestrator of truth. Lies can be loud, accusations can spread quickly, and false narratives can seem to dominate reality for a while, but they are always temporary. Time is the tool Allah uses to ensure that truth surfaces at the right moment, and those who have betrayed you will eventually be confronted by the reality of their actions. The Quran reminds us that Allah does not leave injustice unpunished, and one of the most subtle but profound forms of divine justice is allowing time to reveal the full picture. While you may feel powerless in the moment, continuing your life with integrity, patience, and faith ensures that when time works in your favor, your story will be seen as it truly is. Chosen ones, every act of betrayal, every lie spoken, every rumor circulated, is like a shadow that exists only temporarily in the presence of truth. The patience you practice and the dignity you maintain become witnesses to the reality that others may try to hide. Over weeks, months, and years, inconsistencies in the actions and words of those who betrayed you will appear for all to see. People who were once deceived by lies will begin to notice contradictions. Those who tried to manipulate the narrative for selfish gain will eventually fail to sustain their facade. And in that process, the truth you held onto quietly becomes undeniable. Allah designed this timing for a reason. If justice came instantly every time, hearts might not truly recognize the difference between deception and sincerity. But when time unfolds the truth gradually, the realization is deeper, more permanent, and unmistakable. Chosen ones, it is important to understand that this process does not require you to chase revenge or seek validation. Your responsibility is to remain steadfast, live with honesty, and maintain faith in Allah's plan. By doing so, you allow the natural flow of time to reveal the truth in ways that human effort alone cannot accomplish. Eventually, those who betrayed you begin to see what they have done. Their regret emerges not because you forced it, but because the reality of their actions becomes impossible to ignore. Time acts as a mirror that reflects their intentions, their deceit, and their wrongdoings back to them. And when the truth is revealed, it is often accompanied by a sense of awe at the patience and resilience of the chosen one, someone who did not fight fire with fire, but allowed the divine process to unfold. This is one of the greatest lessons of betrayal and patience. While people may attempt to rewrite the story, manipulate opinions, or erase their own misdeeds, the truth has a rhythm and a timing known only to Allah. And when that timing arrives, it brings clarity, vindication, and an unmistakable revelation of reality. Chosen ones, every tear shed in silence, every night spent in prayer, every moment you held on to your faith rather than giving in to bitterness, is part of the divine process that ensures truth will emerge. You may not see it immediately, but in due time, the reality of your loyalty, your integrity, and your character will shine brighter than any lie ever could. And those who wronged you, who thought they had escaped accountability, will be forced to witness the reality they tried to bury. Time does not just reveal truth to the world, it also strengthens you, elevates your patience, and deepens your connection with Allah. It transforms what seemed like a setback into a preparation for the future, where the chosen ones rise with clarity, wisdom, and undeniable integrity. While betrayal may have caused temporary pain, the way you endure and remain patient allows time to work as a divine instrument of justice. And when that justice is revealed, those who once doubted, lied, or betrayed will see clearly that they underestimated the resilience of someone chosen by Allah, someone whose truth could not be hidden, whose patience could not be broken, and whose destiny was always protected by the one who sees all things, knows all things, and orchestrates every detail in perfect timing. This is the profound wisdom for the chosen ones. Trust in Allah, remain patient, maintain your integrity, and allow time to unveil the reality that lies beyond the reach of human deception, because in His timing, the truth is always revealed, the unjust are held accountable, and the chosen ones are elevated beyond what they ever imagined. Chosen ones, one of the most profound realities that Allah teaches His servants is that the regret of those who betray, deceive, or harm you is not random, accidental, or meaningless. It is a manifestation of divine justice, a testimony that the scales of truth and accountability are always balanced by the one who sees all, knows all, and orchestrates every detail of the universe with perfect wisdom. Betrayal often leaves deep wounds in the hearts of those it touches, especially when it comes from people you trusted, believed in, and sacrificed for. You may have given your time, your energy, your loyalty, and your prayers to people who turned their backs on you when you needed them most. Yet the world seemed blind to the injustice, leaving you feeling isolated, frustrated, and sometimes doubting whether fairness exists at all. But chosen ones, the reality is that Allah never allows wrongdoing to go unaddressed. And one of the most subtle yet powerful ways He does this is by allowing the betrayers themselves to face the internal consequences of their actions. The regret they experience is not mere coincidence. It is a reflection of the moral and spiritual law that Allah has established, the law that ensures every injustice eventually meets the weight of divine truth. When someone betrays you, they may initially feel relief, power, or satisfaction because they believe they have succeeded in undermining your life, character, or reputation. They may laugh while spreading lies, enjoy the temporary advantage of manipulation, and convince themselves that the truth will never surface. Yet in reality, their soul carries a weight they cannot escape, a conscience that Allah has not abandoned. The regret that begins to grow in their hearts is a sign that the unseen scales of justice are already tipping, that the hidden records of their actions are being examined, and that the consequences they tried to avoid are quietly making themselves known. This regret is not just about external loss. It is internal, spiritual, and deeply transformative, forcing them to confront the choices they made, the intentions they nurtured, and the impact of their betrayal on someone chosen by Allah. For the chosen ones, witnessing this subtle but inevitable shift can be both humbling and illuminating because it reinforces a truth that cannot be denied. While humans may temporarily escape accountability in the eyes of the world, they can never escape the accountability in the eyes of Allah, the all-seeing, the all-knowing, and the just. Their regret is a mirror reflecting the severity of their actions, a mirror that shows the consequences of envy, malice, and deceit, and it emerges precisely because they underestimated the patience, faith, and resilience of the one they betrayed. Chosen ones, the beauty of this divine justice is that you do not have to fight to see it unfold. You do not need to confront them, expose them, or demand recognition for what you endured. Allah handles it in a way that is far more powerful, subtle, and permanent than human efforts could ever achieve. While the betrayer may try to silence their conscience or distract themselves with temporary gains, the seed of regret planted in their heart by Allah grows quietly, inexorably, until it can no longer be ignored, and it becomes impossible for them to escape the truth of what they did. This divine process also teaches you, the chosen one, a lesson in patience, humility, and reliance on Allah. The journey is never just about enduring betrayal. It is about understanding that justice is not always immediate, visible, or delivered by human hands. Often, the most profound form of vindication comes through witnessing the natural unfolding of consequence, where the betrayers themselves feel the weight of the wrong they attempted to impose. Chosen ones, this is why patience is so essential, why dignity must be maintained, and why your faith in Allah should never waver, because in His timing, all things are made right. As time passes, those who betrayed you begin to sense the truth they tried to obscure. They recognize the integrity and strength of the person they sought to harm, and they experience the sting of regret, sometimes quietly within their own hearts, and sometimes openly as they realize the depth of their mistake. This regret, although born in them, serves as a testament to your resilience, your unwavering faith, and your steadfastness in a world where deceit can seem strong, but cannot withstand the scrutiny of divine observation. Allah, the just, does not need your intervention to right the wrongs done to you, because His wisdom surpasses all human understanding. Instead, He allows the betrayers to feel the consequences of their own choices, to confront the emptiness of envy, and to recognize the blessings they attempted to undermine. In this way, chosen ones, the pain you endured is transformed into a spiritual victory. The suffering you bore becomes a testimony to your character, and the regret of those who betrayed you becomes part of a greater divine order that ensures no injustice is ignored, no lie goes unchecked, and no betrayal remains unbalanced. Their regret is not vengeance. It is the manifestation of Allah's perfect justice, unfolding quietly, patiently, and inevitably, revealing to the world and to them the consequences of their own actions, while elevating you, the chosen one, to a position of strength, clarity, and honor that cannot be diminished by human treachery. And so, chosen ones, let this truth settle deeply in your heart. The ones who hurt you may appear unscathed now, but their conscience, their regret, and the divine records of their deeds are always moving toward accountability, and in the end, Allah's justice will shine brighter than any human attempt at harm, ensuring that your patience, your integrity, and your unwavering trust in Him are not only recognized, but elevated in ways that the world may never fully comprehend. Chosen ones, if you have endured betrayal, abandonment, and the pain of being misunderstood, know this: the trials you have faced were never meant to break you. They were meant to prepare you for something far greater than what you have lost. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, sometimes allows people to leave your life, relationships to collapse, and trust to be broken, not as punishment, but as protection, as a way of clearing the path for the destiny He has written specifically for you. What may feel like rejection, isolation, or loss in the moment is often the beginning of a divine plan that human eyes cannot yet see, a plan that is far beyond the capacity of those who betrayed you to understand. The chosen ones often do not realize it at the time, but every betrayal, every lie, every act of treachery is part of a larger spiritual architecture that Allah is constructing in their lives, a preparation of the heart, mind, and soul for responsibilities, opportunities, and blessings that require patience, purity, and unwavering faith. While others may celebrate their temporary success in hurting you, Allah is quietly orchestrating events, aligning people, and opening doors that the world cannot perceive, and what was meant to harm you becomes the very catalyst for your elevation. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and many of the righteous servants before him endured betrayal, abandonment, and immense trials, and yet Allah used each moment to elevate them to a level of influence, wisdom, and spiritual authority that could never have been achieved without those hardships. Chosen ones, the pain you felt when others turned away, the disappointment when your loyalty was met with ingratitude, and the heartache of watching people you trusted betray you, were all instruments in the hands of Allah to shape your destiny. Every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered in secret, every moment you resisted bitterness and anger was molding you into someone capable of carrying the weight of divine responsibility. While the betrayers sought to diminish you, they were unknowingly participating in a process that would ensure you are prepared for a future where your patience, integrity, and faith would be the very foundations of your strength, influence, and blessing. Your life is like a tapestry that only Allah can see from start to finish, and sometimes the threads of betrayal, loss, and hardship are what give it depth, beauty, and resilience. Chosen ones, understand that being abandoned or misunderstood is not the end of your story. It is a beginning, a stage in the divine plan that requires endurance, trust, and hope. What Allah removes from your life is often replaced by something greater, something that aligns perfectly with your purpose, and something that those who betrayed you could never have imagined or prevented. As time unfolds, You will notice opportunities appearing where doors once seemed closed, relationships forming that carry sincerity and loyalty far beyond what you experienced before, and a sense of peace settling into your heart that no betrayal can disturb. Those who betrayed you may continue to live their lives unaware of the spiritual preparation taking place in yours, and in time, their regret will grow as they witness the blessings and elevation you have attained despite their attempts to harm you. Chosen ones, this is the secret of divine wisdom. Allah uses every hardship, every trial, and every moment of pain to prepare you for a reality that is infinitely greater than what was taken or destroyed. The patience you exercised, the dignity you maintained, and the faith you held onto in the face of betrayal are not wasted. They are the tools through which Allah builds your future. And when the time comes, you will stand in a position of strength, clarity, and purpose, fulfilling roles, receiving blessings, and experiencing successes that were hidden from you during your season of trial. The very pain that was meant to weaken you becomes the foundation of your greatness. The very people who tried to hinder you will witness, with awe and regret, the elevation of the one they sought to harm. Chosen ones, understand deeply that Allah is the master planner, and He never abandons the faithful, the patient, and the resilient. While betrayal may have shaken your trust in humans, it cannot diminish the trust that is placed in you by Allah Himself, the one who knows the full story, sees every moment of your struggle, and is preparing outcomes far beyond human comprehension. Every trial, every act of injustice, every moment of being misunderstood is part of a divine script in which you are the chosen one, the vessel of His blessings, and the witness to His perfect wisdom. So hold on, remain patient, and trust that what Allah is preparing for you is far greater than anything you could imagine. Do not mourn the loss of those who betrayed you. Instead, rejoice quietly in the preparation that is taking place behind the scenes. The doors that were closed will open, the blessings that were delayed will arrive, and the destiny that was always meant for you will manifest in a way that elevates you spiritually, emotionally, and materially, ensuring that every betrayal, every heartbreak, and every test was not in vain, but part of the divine elevation of a chosen soul. Remember, chosen ones, what was meant to harm you was never stronger than the one who protects you. What was meant to break you was never more powerful than the patience you nurtured. And what was meant to delay your blessings was only preparing them to arrive in a form greater than you could have imagined. Trust in Allah's timing, trust in His wisdom, and know that every step of this journey, even the painful ones, is leading you toward a destiny that is unparalleled, undeniable, and divinely orchestrated for your ultimate elevation and honor. Chosen ones, now that you have walked through these 7 powerful lessons, remember this truth above all. Betrayal, pain, and hardship are never signs of defeat. They are the hidden tools of Allah, shaping your heart, purifying your intentions, and preparing you for a destiny that no one can steal, no one can delay, and no one can diminish. Those who betrayed you may have thought they succeeded, but the reality is that Allah saw everything, recorded every injustice, and is elevating you beyond what they can even imagine. Their regret is not your responsibility. It is a sign of divine justice unfolding in perfect timing. Your patience, your silence, your integrity, and your faith are not just acts of endurance. They are the building blocks of the life, the opportunities, and the blessings that Allah has prepared exclusively for you. Chosen ones, do not allow anger, disappointment or betrayal to cloud your vision. Let it refine you instead. Walk forward with dignity, knowing that time will reveal the truth, that your character cannot be diminished, and that what Allah is preparing for you is far greater than anything the world can take away. Stand tall, remain steadfast, and trust the one who orchestrates every detail of your life, because your journey is sacred, your purpose is unique, and your elevation is inevitable. Remember, those who wronged you are only witnesses to the patience and strength Allah has placed within you, and in the end, it is your faith and resilience that will shine brighter than any betrayal ever could. So move forward with your head high, your heart pure, and your trust unshakable, for you are chosen, protected, and destined for greatness by Allah Himself. And always carry this in your heart: the story is not over, the truth is never hidden, and the best is yet to come.